Hello, we are going to talk about an FAO article about co-preservation of meat products. FAO is Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Guys, you know how much I love manipulative language that tries to hide things from us. This article is full of it. We're not going to read it all. I can't be bothered. Meat itself is not a living organism, because it's dead. But it is a subject to endogenic enzymatic activity. Endogenic means that something that comes from the inside. Or proteolysis, which means the breaking down of proteins into individual amino acids. Maybe this is what the carnies mean when they say that meat protein is more bioavailable because it goes through proteolysis, if you don't keep it in very specific cool storage. Which causes muscle tissue to mature, you mean decay, become tender, you mean break down from the decay, and develop typical taste, you mean get spoiled. This process is delayed by cold. I think this article is pretty old. Due to its chemical composition, which is rich in proteins, lipids, and water, meat is a particularly favorable substrate of the growth of microorganisms. Carcass is usually a very good place for bacteria to grow and multiply pretty rapidly. It's because most bacteria growth in a living animal is actually stunted by our immune systems. And once you die, the immune system doesn't work anymore. So bacteria, that is an integral part of our body, starts to grow really rapidly. The lipidic content also makes it very sensitive to oxidation. Isn't that interesting? We keep hearing about oxidating potential of seed oils, but the lipidic content of meat makes it sensitive to oxidation as well. Now, the next part could be actually an interesting thing to compile from all the footage that we have. I know usually animal activists that go into slaughterhouses and such, they mostly want to capture how the animals act during the slaughter. But there is a potential ick factor here because of the next claims. Healthy animals, maybe, hygienically slaughtered. Did you see the footage? After resting and fasting, I don't know about resting, they seem to struggle pretty much throughout the experience. They are starved for 24 to 48 hours before slaughter because animals, including humans, are machines that turn food into poop. And if the bowels aren't emptied and the stomach content isn't emptied, this could add to contamination of the dead animal. So healthy animals hygienically slaughtered after resting and fasting provide practically aseptic meat, which I don't know how many slaughter footage you've seen. I don't know if it's possible to provide an aseptic meat. However, following slaughter, the evisceration and dressing operations inevitably produce microbial contamination in depth and especially on the surface, throughout contact with equipment, tools, hands, and clothes, despite all precautions. I just don't know what to say. Again, microorganism growth is temperature-dependent process. To avoid it, it is absolutely essential to reduce the temperature of the meat, especially on the surface, immediately after dressing. Cooling must therefore be carried out in the slaughterhouse itself. This operation is known as primary chilling. So if you happen to be a meat eater and you stumbled on this video and you actually gave it a listen for laughs or something, I have a few questions. One is, how much do you trust your slaughterhouse workers and your farmers to provide healthy animals, hygienic slaughter, resting and fasting of the animals? How much do you trust that they put the meat in chilling fast enough to stop the growth of bacteria? on and in it? And the second question is, how much do you think it costs to continuously keep the meat chilled or frozen until it gets to your plate 2-3 weeks, a month after the slaughter?